St, Switzerland, the most historic bobsleigh track on the planet. Boy, what a day, and boy, what a race we have in prospect for you here today at the home of ice sliding. Martin Haven and John Morgan getting ready for the second and deciding heat, race 5 of the Wiesmann FIBT two-man bobsleigh World Cup. With our top 3 after the first heat covered by 500ths of a second, it could hardly be closer, and the weather could hardly be more perfect. John, what a race we've got in store.
The top 3 sleds are the top 3 sleds at the start. Friedrich and Marcus from Germany. This is the 2013 world champion on this track. He was the youngest person ever to win a world championship. That hit and horseshoe might have cost him a chance to be in the lead. Only 500ths of a second separate these 3 sleds. The Ad Hefty, Alex Bowman, didn't have a great start. They had some problems here in the first part. Watch the sled go to the left. Otherwise, I think Hefty would have been ahead by 2/10 here on the bottom part of the track. He found some speed, and he's got himself in the position, tops 2. Only 400ths out of the top sled. Oscars, Malbardas, Domans, Drieskens, the 2 huge men who can run like deer. Great starts, but he flew down the track. His drive might have been the most consistent of anybody, which is why he set a track record, and he's atop of the leaderboard.
Fantastic action all the way down the top 20. Close as you like right at the top, but lots to play for everybody else. We'll go 20 down to 1 in the second heat to decide the medals, to decide the most prestigious two-man race of the World Cup season here in St. Moritz. So race 5 of the Wiesmann FIBT World Cup in the most glamorous, the oldest, the fastest, the longest track on the planet. Loads of fans out here on a beautiful, crisp Saturday morning. Air -7, but feels like about +10 because of the sun. But look at the ice, -8. The coldest ice we'll have all year, the fastest, best, most silent ice we'll have all year as well. What a picturesque location this is. Our start list, well, 20th in the first heat, just clinging on to a second run, was Canada's Justin Cripps. He will be the first off, and we will go down all the way to our top 3. Francesco Friedrich, the world champion, the youngest ever. Bert Hefty, the Swiss man who has got 2 races, wins on the bounce, and Oscars Malbardas, who is a standout athlete and our first heat leader. Beautiful conditions for racing in sunny St. Moritz in Switzerland. 2,000 meters above sea level, all but in the most gorgeous location you can imagine for winter sports. Fans and flags of all nations here as we get ready to decide the two-man bobsleigh encounter on this sunny Saturday morning. 20 fastest sleds from 28 in the first heat go through into the second race. Both heats count, and the aggregate time is what decides our winner. Justin Cripps of Canada, second man out of the start shed in the first heat, is first man in heat 2, only just clung on to a top 20 position. The man from Summerland, British Columbia, with his Edmonton-born brakeman, Brian Barnett.
Yeah, they went early. They're at a disadvantage. Didn't have a great run down the track. He puts a good run down here. He can move up 5-6 places.
Hour and a half after he first started, the track will have changed. Maybe the runner setup will be more beneficial for him now as well.
Barnett, the 100, 200-meter sprinter. 5:09 in the first run. 7th best start. 5:14 here. That's not a good sign. The speed, keep track of that 49.6. That's really relevant to the way they enter the sled and get around the first curve. Now look at this track. Wall curve. Now we go into the snake. A little right and then a left. Now the famous sunny curve. And now into a 2-corner combination named after Nash and Dixon, the British who won the Olympic gold medal in two-man bobsleigh in 1964. And now horseshoe, the most famous curve in the world. And this is where the slingshot effect on the bottom part of the track. If you hit that perfectly, you will fly on this incredibly smooth, quiet track.
Better speed than he had in the first heat. Down at the bottom, 140.4 kilometers an hour. Should be quicker. Track is faster. 141.2. It's not a quantum leap in performance. I think that's probably reflecting the track getting a little quicker. 107.20, 1300s quicker than his first run. It's not a massive improvement. We will see more. Hit less things on the way down than Coach Tom Delahunty did in the historic race yesterday. He really hit everything there was to hit.
This guy won a bronze medal last week in Kodiksee. To see him back here in 20th position, little perplexing, but the two tracks, total opposite directions. Look at the lines. Peek at the runner tips. See the wee little airborne coming over there in the back end of the sled here. He hits going in, and he gets a little air. Hit too early, going into telephone. The reason they call that telephone, there used to be a telephone there in the old days. You call back to the top if you had crashed.
Jung-Yoon Kim of Korea, 19th place after the first heat, 700s behind his teammate, just 300s in front of Justin Cripps of Canada. And he came off start draw number 19, 27-year-old graduate student from Korea.
Started 5:25 in the first run. Cripps got worse. We started 5:9, so it should be 5:25 or worse. 5:22, they got better. Cripps got worse. Speed in the last 49, so Cripps is ahead by a half a kilometer an hour.
Well, this guy's a little better of a four-man driver. When the Koreans first came into the World Cup, he only drove four-man in a couple of World Cup races in North America 2 years ago. Teammate Yoon Jung-won drove the two-man exclusively. Still behind Cripps, 1500s is the margin.
That's all relative to the start, though. He gets through here smooth, yeah. Now watch the highline. Don't hit the lip and get up there. He does nicely. Crossover, perfect. Down to 11. Speed, it's better than Cripps.
Yes, it is. 1.2 kilometers.
Out of Devil's Dyke, he hit a pretty hard hit. See if it affected him. He should be at single digits, yeah. He's going to beat Cripps.
141.2 was Cripps' speed.
Ooh. Tap there, though.
Well, the Hyundai sled was pretty quick. 141.8, 141.3.
Right to the no mistakes here. He's got a chance. He's going uphill at the bottom.
Oh, 100th behind.
Couple mistakes there. Look at the coach look on. Cripps goes, hey, man.
Take anything you can get on a tough day.
But a couple of mistakes down below. But, you know, in a normal track, you hit the sidewall, you bounce off like a ricochet rabbit. Here, you bounce into natural ice, and you take out a little ice when you hit there. So these little taps down here in the bottom enter gunner sacks. Right here, watch this little tap here. This is costly. He was bringing it back to 100th of a second here. That's what cost him this 100th of a second spot on the bottom.
Oh, Kim offers his congratulations to leader Justin Cripps, as next up is Yoon Jung-won. One first man out of the start shed. Any other track, that's a big bonus. Here, that's a big disappointment for the 29-year-old. Look at this Korean program, sponsored by the two biggest industrial conglomerates in Southeast Asia at the moment, Daewoo and Hyundai, who have developed this sled. Two massive engineering concerns. The Koreans are now deadly serious.
The Koreans won a silver medal yesterday in men's skeleton, so this program's for real.
Yeah, men's skeleton.
Wow.
Sunbin Young. Martin Stukas, who ended up winning the race, was expecting him to go away by half a second to run. Well, the weather changed a little, and Dukas managed to pull it out of the fire.
The Canadians got 500s worse at the start, 5.9 to 5.14. And the Koreans went 5.9 to 5.06.
Yep.
And that's why they're in their pretty numbers.
Big speed at the start, and look at this, 3/10 up out of Sonny.
He hit the lip hard here in Horseshoe in the first run. Let's watch what he does this time.
Pretty much all the top 5 or 6 sleds did, just a fraction off it, and that's what you need.
Yeah, he's flying. This is big speed. Wow.
104.5, very good indeed. First heat, he had 102.5 and 141 at the bottom.
Yeah,
he should be up to 143, 144 here. It's a really nice looking run.
Clean, boy, clean lines. That's tipped there, but 142.2. Wow, he is flying.
Yes, he is. 107.23 first heat.
Wow.
106.5 second heat.
Second better. Hello, track record. When we get down to the top, this track is just sped up. Canadians didn't have a good setup because the Koreans did. He didn't crash that lip in the first heat. Watch the start. I mean, these guys were not very big guys 4 or 5 years ago, and they've been in that weight room. And now they've got the start times, they got the equipment, they've got the coaching, training, the line. Watch him in the crossover here. Slingshot effect on the bottom.
Nice take on the telephone.
Perfect.
Pretty smooth.
That's
a nice height there too.
Yeah.
No wonder they're smiling. So Korean leads, Yoon Jung-won. Canada's Chris Spring, 4th off the ice here in the second of our 2 heats in St. Moritz. 17th only in the first heat. Teammate Justin Cripps was 20th. Alexander Kopac's behind the Darwin, Australia-born slider for Canada. Kopac's 25 years old on Sunday, former shot putter.
Justin Cripps, I don't think, had the right setup. Chris Spring just drove like he was getting awarded for hitting everything in sight in the first run. Had some real problems down at Ash Dixon. This is much better. Remember the problem he had in the straightaway in the first run here. He's clean.
Well, he was only 500s in front of Yoon Jung-won of Korea in the first heat, and the Korean has the lead off a faster start at the moment.
Yeah, 1000's better start. Now watch the back end of the sled here, coming up in our next cut here, right now. Watch him skid. Watch him here. Much cleaner. Now he's going to need a perfect high line and exit slingshot effect there at the bottom. That looks good. Down to 2100s. 104, that's not the speed the Koreans had.
141 in the first heat. He'll need 143s.
Not going to have that. I don't think either Canadian sled's got good setup. This is a much better drive by Chris Spring. Just doesn't have the speed. No speed at all.
Koreans 142.2. And he drops behind Justin Cripps. So he drops to third. He's in front of Justin Cripps. Cripps drops to third. Yoon Jung-won of Korea still the race leader.
Not a good day for the Canadians.
No, that's definitely one to forget. Well, Spring's best result, a pair of 12 places in Calgary and Koenigsee, not finding his mojo this year in 2-man.
Well, this was great. Good lines. Watch the take on to telephone. Good lines. But he was 1000s behind at the start. That's where he got beat by the Koreans and not happy with himself.
Yeah. Korean Yoon Jung-won still leads here in St. Moritz. 16th off the 30 is Alexander Kasyanov of Russia. Kasyanov, 3rd sled on the ice again. That's a bit of a deficit in terms of ice for the 31-year-old from Bratsk.
He's got to watch out here. He's going to hit 5:13 in the first run. He's got to go quicker because Koreans were 5:06.
Pretty frosty at the top, 5:10 in the first heat. Will have been a little stickier for the sled.
49. That's good. That's better speed than
not quite as quick as the Koreans yet. What was his advantage? 1300s over the Koreans.
Still got green numbers. He went 3rd. He was at a disadvantage also going 3rd. Track still a little frosty.
One of Korea was 1st on the ice. He found out how skiddy it was as he hit the woodwork pretty hard.
Watch these lines. This is a great driver here. Medium high. Oh,
double tap, both bunks, front and rear.
104. No, 103. No speed. Wow. He's going to lose this back to the Koreans because that tap didn't help him either.
Rubbed it all off on the woodwork. Yeah. Koreans 142.2 at the bottom. The Russians need that speed to stay in the lead.
This is not what the Russians want. To see the Koreans, the upstart team, coming to beat their...
Kilometre an hour too slow. He's going to drop into the red and stay there. Second place on the line, a whisker ahead of Chris Spring. Yoon Jung-won stays in the leader's box.
You would have told me a year ago that the Koreans would be knocking off Kasyanov. I might have put a bet against that.
Well, it might not happen every week, but any week it does happen, it's a good week.
He's a better 4-man pilot. I bet you this much better tomorrow. Well, let's see this little kiss up here on the lip The back end hit too? No, the back end didn't hit. That wasn't too bad, but watch the back end to come up. No, I don't think the back end hit. Look at the runner tips. Drives off. No speed though. Boy, he had really kilometer down to the Koreans there.
Yunjung of Korea leads with 15 to go. Cody Basque of the USA next on the ice. 15th place for the 20-year-old from Whitehall, New York. Casey Wickline, the brakeman behind him. If anything needs putting out, he's your boy, firefighter from North Carolina, for the city of Greenville.
Casey's nursing some bad ribs. He'll only go in the two-man, not the four. Too much pressure in the back of a four-man. Said he's not too bad in the two-man, but it definitely affected his performance. 5:21 start. He's 1500ths behind the Koreans at the start. He's going to have perfect lines to have a chance down here, this young U.S. pilot. That's not perfect in the crossover from Nash to Dixon.
Quarter of a second advantage from the first heat over one of Korea, but it's down to 100th into Nash and Dixon.
Going to be perfect here. 104 speed to have a chance. He's got 104.9. That's great speed. So this young 20-year-old, he can point his BMW sled in the right direction. He's going to need to at the bottom.
142 at the bottom in the first heat. He's already a kilometre an hour quicker through tree.
Oh,
143.
Cody Basque found a way to foul speed at the bottom and overcomes a deficient start time to take the lead.
Well, a quarter of a second better than his first heat. Exactly. That's a good run for Cody.
He got beat by 1500ths at the start by the Koreans. It comes down and beat him.
Well, we know how painful damaged ribs can be, and maybe Casey Wickline was feeling that in that second push.
Now watch Casey, the way he gets into the sled. We noticed this in the first run. He gets in, he gets down. Watch it's like a total jump in. No cat-like movement here, both times. And watch the crossover here. Nash Dixon, the back end, skidding on him.
Really high in Nash.
Yeah, he got
really
in there
high.
too early. He got to win. That's a lot of time right there.
Kind of want to trickle between the two corners. There's your leader then on the left-hand side. Cody Basque of the USA. 14 to go, including the Dutchman, Julian Wesselink. From 22nd, outside the cut in the first run. At least that's where he started. Good run for him. And Igor Brink, his brakeman. Former Dutch driver on the left. Edwin van Kalken now coaching. He retired in December. And this is the future of Dutch bobsledding, and it looks bright.
Go! Okay.
5:27 in the first run. A couple teams have got worse. Most everybody else got better. 5:28. So they did not improve speed in the left. 49 down. 2000ths to the 2100s to the Koreans at the bottom. Perfect drive lines is you'll give them a chance, but it's tough to be perfect on this track. Last week they went 49 seconds in Contenders. Here they're going a minute 6, minute 7, you know, almost 25–30% more.
Interesting to compare his speed to that of the Canadians, because he too is using a Euroteam-built sled, same as the Canadian team. It's the woodwork, still behind.
Speed, not there.
Quarter of a second behind Cody Basque.
Now it's a question of maintaining at least one spot. He doesn't want to drop 3 or 4 spots, and he could.
He's a full kilometre an hour slower than his first run. He had 142 at the bottom. No,
he's going to fall at least 2 spots, if not more.
106.9 in the first heat, 107.3 in the second.
It's okay, development.
Wow, still in the top 20,
yeah.
So he's in 5th place.
2 great weeks, World Cup debut last week in Contenders. And they are so enthused about, they're the new generation of Dutch bobsledding, these kids.
Future's bright, the future's orange, as they say.
Well, let's see if he kisses the back end hit. Yeah, the back end touched a little bit. No speed. Watch these lines. Look at the runner tips if we can pick them up here. A lot of hard steering. No, he didn't steer too much to come out of there.
Cody Basket, the USA, is our race leader as our 13th fastest sled in the first heat comes up to the ice. Nico Walter and Andy Bredau. Walter on some kind of run of form in two-man and four-man in the last few weeks. This young German sensation has been winning medals in the last 2 weekends. Bronze in Altenburg, silver last week in Koenigsegg, Bavaria. But he's a long way from the medals here. A good half a second out of contention.
The size of the break, 6'5".
First time Bredau's been on the back of the sled with Walter.
5'10" the first run, 5'10" the second run. Should be 50, close to 50 speed, 49.8. Top speeds, we're going to see 50.3, 50.4 from the top sleds. Walter, I think, was another victim of horseshoe. I think he hit the lip in horseshoe in the first run.
He hit it pretty hard. He was also the fourth man on the ice. It's still pretty frosty at that stage, not half as fast as it was later on.
Okay, watch Sonny, watch the back end of the sled coming up here. You need this smooth. Yep. Now watch him, see if he gets off the lip here. Yeah, he steered a little hard there. 104 speed at least.
Same as in the first heat.
Wow. First guy we've seen in that number.
Chose a very low line in the first run to make sure he had no drama on the exit. The speed is good.
Whoa, this could be a run that puts him up a couple places.
He's 1.5 kilometers now, quicker than he was on the first heat. Big slide. 1:43.1. 2 kilometers quicker.
Track record.
Wow.
Oh, get ready. You're going to see the track record go down 4 or 5 times here.
Well, you know, he was fourth off. He didn't have the fastest ice, but he hasn't forgotten to drive since last weekend.
Yeah, I got to believe his fourth down didn't help him.
Yeah.
And hit the lip and horseshoe.
Well, again, no, he didn't hit the lip. Again, he had a very low line in the first heat. Same as in, look, he's a good, pretty much a meter off the woodwork.
Crossover. Let's watch the back end of the sled. Is this smooth? Yeah, that's smooth. That's why he had 105 speed. Look at
Christoph's diving it off there himself.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, Christoph, nice job by your pilot.
Nice job by Nico Walter, the race leader with 12 to go. Next up is multiple Olympic and World Championship winner Stephen Holcomb of the USA. Only 21st at the start with Carlo Valdez behind him. And therein lies at least part of the drama. But Holcomb had good speed at the bottom of the track.
Great speed on the exit of horseshoe. 5:21, the 21st best start in the first heat. I gotta believe they have to go better than that. 5:16. Okay, speed 50, no 49.5. He was 43 in the first run, but he was clean all the way down the track.
An improvement like that in the start in the first heat would have given him another 1500s at the bottom of the track, maybe closer to 210s. Then he'd have been in the top 6, not in 12th.
He's going to have a lot to do to keep Nico Walter from out of the leader's box.
Ain't that the truth? 1200s behind out of Sonny.
Let's see, the speed, 105.3 he had, Walter had. Let's see what Holcomb came back. Holcomb was fast in the first run.
Good line, good exit. Nice.
105.8. This is what he did in the first run.
Yeah, Holcomb was 104.7 in the first run and 143. He could be up to 145.
Speed on the bottom.
Listen, absolute silence from the BMW sled.
Oh, he's got
144.4.
No one's got that speed so far.
New track record coming up.
Record, another one.
Here we go. We've still got 11 sleds to go.
Boy, with that start to efficiency, Holcomb 2 for 2. If he drives like this in the four-man, he could be in the next round. For having a start time like that to bring it down, Steve Holcomb can still drive bobsleighs. That's
yes,
for sure.
he can.
Track record first. Good job, boys. You're good. 16, track record.
Well, the brakeman here, watch the hit. Can Holcomb and him hit this bar at the same time?
Yeah, get it moving.
Look at the feet now. Look at the size of Carlos's
Look at
legs.
those strides as well.
Strides, too. That's some power.
And he'll learn to keep those knees low and drive through. Holcomb looks happy with that run. He is our race leader. We still have 11 sleds to come here in St. Moritz. And boy, we have got some entertainment coming. Do not move. You will want to watch this race. Well, John Morgan, the view from our office is better than the view from, I don't care whatever office you're in. This is the best view in the business. We are just so delighted to come here every year.
Every athlete that comes that we've interviewed said it's a privilege to be here. They're honored. And if you ever get a chance to go anyplace, this is unbelievable. This up there, Gunnar Sachs building at the start, all the history. It's like a museum in there with all the pictures. And you're talking pictures from 100+ years ago.
Yep.
I mean, this hasn't changed. What Indianapolis is, you know, we talk about it to motor racing. What Wimbledon is to tennis. This is the bobsledding.
It's the big one. And it's if you don't win at home, okay, that's a shame. But if you win in St. Moritz, then that's very special. Like a Formula One driver, they want to win their own home Grand Prix, they want to win in Monaco, and it's the same deal here. You want to win your own track, you want to win in St. Moritz. Because it's historic, because of the speed and the length of the track, because it's the only remaining natural track. It's our last link back to the forefathers of this sport, to the 1900s, when they were sliding men and women in 5-man sledges. Yesterday we saw a historic race with the open fire Arbon sleds. This morning, one of the forerunners was in a 5-man toboggan with a steering wheel. That's the way it used to be. It ain't anymore, but the history is around every corner here, and everybody loves to be part of this. There's the pageantry, and there's just the thrill of the track.
Look at this, they're keeping the sled up off the ice. This is look at, they're letting the sun, they've already passed temperature inspection.
Well, they have to do it again. They'll go on the ice box for a minute before they go on to the start to make sure the runners aren't too hot. Frequently have disqualifications here in St. Moritz because the runners are in the sun too long. You can't be too hot. There's a control steel runner in the shade at the start, and you're measured against that. Moritz-Celerina of Poland tied for 10th after the first of our 2 heats here in St. Moritz with a standout performance. Came right out of the backfield, 25th of our 28 starters. But John Morgan, he had a good track, but you've got to use it. He drove superbly.
Both very good-sized athletes, 5'12", 5'15" in the first run. They should go better.
Krzysztof Tilkowski behind him, new brakeman, 5:19 start, but he's right in there swinging. A top 10 result for Poland here, of all places, would be outstanding.
Now, we talked about a couple weeks ago, we were at the track Too Tough to Tame in Altenburg. Well, this is a super speedway. This is Daytona 500 here. This is the birthplace of our sport. You know, what Monte Carlo is to Formula One, what Wimbledon is to tennis, what Yankee Stadium is to baseball. This place is to bobsledding.
Well, these guys are a little slower at the start than their first heat. 1:03.8 here in the first run, 1:03.9, but Holcomb was 1:05.8.
He's going to fall 2 or 3 places. He had the perfect apex when that track just sped up. He took advantage of it, driving great. So, hey, he finishes within... If he finishes in 12th, 13th place, he'll be very happy with his performance.
Slipping a little to 5th, 1:41.8. He was 1:42.1 in the first heat, so just not quite as quick a run, 1:07.2.
That's okay. He'll take a top 13, 14 finish.
Yep.
Good job for Poland.
Really good day. I think what that's going to do for this young man's confidence.
Running with the big dogs. Did well.
Yeah. Just 25 years old, still only 4 years in the sport.
The lines in horseshoe, the pivotal part of the track where you want to exit with the slingshot effect on the bottom and get all the speed the track's going to give you. Good lines. Didn't have the speed, though. Must have made a mistake up top, or we couldn't see because he didn't have very good speed.
Again, maybe the runners were a little better for the warmer condition, the cooler conditions earlier on. Oskars Kybarmanis of Latvia, 11th of our starters. 5th fastest start, but only finished tied 10th. There's the leader on the right, Stephen Holcomb. On the left of your screen, Carlo Valdez. Kybarmanis with virus bombs. Only the 3rd of our 3 Latvian sleds, and he won't like that much.
5th best start, 5:03. They could go better. 5:02, of course. 50 should be 50 speed. 50.2. This is an upcoming driver. It's just a matter of time before he starts to figure out how to drive like his teammate who's leading the race, Oscar's Melbardis. Another decathlete. The athleticism that the Latvians bring. And they have 3 sleds in the competition. 2 more to come yet.
Yeah. And their third guy, it's his first World Cup race. He's in 4th place. 103.6 was their speed in the first heat. Let's see what they've got off a horseshoe.
1500s, 104.3.
104.3, quicker again.
But that's going to come back. Holcomb at 105.
Yep.
So should get down to single digits here. That's flat, so Holcomb going to pick somebody else off here too.
Holcomb had 144.4 at the bottom. Latvians only had 141 in the first heat. Big skid as well down the straight.
Yeah, same speed, so Holcomb gets another one.
He's going to pick him off. 106.8 first heat, 106.5 second heat, but not enough of an improvement.
It's just a matter of time. He's not like Melbardis. He's only been driving his 3rd year.
Yep.
They ushered him quickly, accelerated his whole experience from the back seat to the front seat. Still not getting the results yet.
Yeah. Well, Keeper Manis, of course, had never bobsledded before he started driving. They dragged him in from track and field.
Start. These are some athletes. Decathlon. My athlete of choice in the sport of bobsledding are decathletes. Have to have that mindset that the decathlete has. It carries perfectly to bobsledding.
Softball player Alana Myers-Taylor might argue that a little, but takes all kinds. Nikita Zakharov of Russia, 21st in the start draw, so he had some quick ice, and only 17th fastest start. Shows how well he used that ice to come down 9th quickest by the bottom.
Start. 5:16, very similar to his first run, exact 49.7. Good velocity though, considering that 16 start time. That was a good velocity. He's 2/10 better than Holcomb, who had a 50 at the same start. This is a good driver here. He's been coming out living in the shadows of Zukov and Kesanov. He's had some good four-man results too. The Russians have an army of athletes. They have a fleet of sleds. They have a development program that no one can touch. They have established themselves as a power of the sport. But all that effort is not going to help him here because he does not have the speeds that Holcomb had.
No, he didn't. He's got better speed than his own first run, but not as good as Stephen Holcomb.
Holcomb had afterburners on the exit of Horseshoe.
Didn't you know? Holcomb really got a proper run. 143.3. That's not close enough to challenge. Kilometre an hour down on Holcomb. He drops to 3rd behind Nico Walter, who is riding on Holcomb's coattails. Easy for me to say, all the way up the order. So Walter, who was in 13th place after the first heat, and Holcomb, who was 12th, both clearly didn't get a good first run, and they are rising up the order together.
I love these pictures. Medium, low line, and again, we want to drive. We don't want to steer more than you have to. The crossover into the telephone. Why they call it telephone? Well, the old days in the track, there was a telephone there, and if you crashed, you called back to the top to say, hold the track, we've crashed down here. I'd like to see him bring that back.
Yeah. Well, let's get the Wi-Fi sorted first. Next up, Simone Bertazzo of Italy. 12th fastest start for him. Came down tied 7th with Rico Pater. Really nice first run drive from Bertazzo, who has still got the 2-man touch.
Good speeds on the bottom by the athlete who won a World Championship bronze medal here in 2007. So this is a very, very great driver.
Well, when you're in a tie at the start, John, you know that any 100th of a second you can find makes a difference. And they didn't quite find it there. 5:18.
49.5. Same start speed almost as Holcomb. If anybody's going to challenge Holcomb, Simone Bertazzo in a Ferrari sled painted red.
Well, even if he matches the speeds he had in the first heat, he's going to be 1.5 kilometers down on Stephen Holcomb's second run, so he's going to find more as well.
Already behind Holcomb, but if anybody can be matching the bottom part of this track, he's going to need 105 kilometers to have any kind of chance.
104.2 in the first heat, 104.6 in the second.
Holcomb's going to get another person. Look at the hard hit there. We're sliding through the forest here on the bottom part of the track. Gunter Sachs now into Martin Oker, named after the founder of the St. Moritz Bobsleigh Club in 1923.
Low speed.
Going to fall a couple places.
Not going like a Ferrari, drops 5 spots. Holcomb continues to rise up the order.
It's always good strategy to live in that winner's box a long time.
Yep.
Holcomb did with 2 awesome runs with deficient start times.
Well, Nico Walter and Stephen Holcomb both broke the track record, and that's the difference now. You have to beat the track record to take the lead away. Although the gaps now in front of Holcomb are growing.
Well, the start, Simone, when he won the bronze medal here in 2007, had a top 3 start. Now it's, even though it's 1,700 meter long track to start, top 3 guys on the leaderboard are all the best starts. Look at the tap here, bottom part of the track through the forest. That's out of No Name, the nameless curve they call it.
All the snow on the back where the brakes dig into the track, it comes shooting up into the sled. Rico Peter of Switzerland, 7th on the ice. 5th best start, came down with a 7th place finish in the first heat with former Dutch brakeman Broer van der Zijde behind him. Lots of young raw power behind Rico Peter.
With the top sleds, he had the worst drive. Look at this 5:06 start. 5:03 the first run, 50.0, 31 miles an hour start speed. He had everything in sight, but still fast.
Better momentum than in the first heat, off a slightly slower start.
That's a little snake there.
Yeah. I was hoping the runners would come to him in these warmer conditions.
Now the back end of this next picture, watch this.
Not bad. Bump onto Dixon, what about Horseshoe? Goes high.
Should be 105 plus speed the way he's flying. Yes.
Yes, fastest we've seen since Holcomb.
He's got to hold it though, because Holcomb was perfect down. He's coming out of 12. This is going to be right to the 100. It's all about the speed here in the bottom.
Needs 144.5. What does the city of Sled put in? It hits the wall. 142.
Speed.
And he'll have dragged some of that speed out. He'll be behind at the line, not by much. But enough. And
now that's
slots in front of Nico Walter.
That's a big scalp for Holcomb there, because that's somebody should have beat Holcomb. No one drove better. If Holcomb had a start like the top 3 sleds, he'd be right in the hunt for the medals. But his driving today was the best he's done all year.
Yep. He's feeling the love from St. Moritz. Rico Peter slips into second with 6 sleds still to go.
The lines here. That's on the crossover. Let's see if he taps before he gets in. No. He had the speed, he had the 105.4, but a couple little miscues down here. Cost him 500s behind Holcomb.
They're going to kill you, hit the wall, it hits you back. Rico Peter shakes his head, Stephen Holcomb leads us. Alexei Stulnev, 6 off the first heat, gets ready for his run. Stulnev, 29-year-old from Pavlovsk, former silver medalist in the Junior Worlds in 2-man. Using a tinted visor as ever, that helps cut down the glare between the white track, the white snow, and the white sky.
Antok is brakeman, good track and field athlete like all of the Russian athletes.
Now there were 1900s in front of Stephen Holcomb from the first heat. That's why he's still in the green.
Oh, wave down there out of curve 1. I'll see if it affects it. Should be 2300s up with the next clock at least. We'll see right here. Yeah, well, should be up more than that. Now to the wrong side of that curve. Now he taps before Nash and Dixon. That's costly.
104.2 in the first heat. He needs 105. Hasn't got it.
Holcomb, I think, is going to get another scalper, but I do remember in the first run, Stolnev had good speed in the battle. Down to 4, though.
At 143, Holcomb had 144.5. Even 143 won't do it for the Russian. Gaps down to 400s is in the red.
How much is he going to fall? How many spots?
Holcomb is top 6, and Stolnev drops to 4th. That's how close it is, 1100s back. Holcomb has already risen from 12th in Heat 1 to 6th position here. And the track is still getting faster for these athletes. So Alexei Stolnev slips down the order by 4 spots. Still be a top 10 finish for him.
Nash-Dixon, mistake here. This was costly. Trying to get over that little spray there. Probably worth what Holcomb beat him by. And then the long drive into Horseshoe.
6 last week, top 10 here. Stephen Holcomb, the race leader. We have 5 sleds to go in St. Moritz. Johannes Lochner of Germany, the brand new shining star, 24-year-old, former silver medalist in the Junior World Championship as a brakeman for Matthias Böhmer. He's won 4 Europa Cup second-tier races this year.
His brakeman, Joshua Bloom, is one of the best in the German program. They matched these two up for a reason. Their start times, 5:01. Now this athlete here, his uncle was the 1991 world champion in Altenburg, the 2-man bobsled. Awesome starts. And he was a silver medalist at the 1992 Olympic Games in Albertville. This is some pretty good heritage right here.
Oh, big skid
there
from Sled 1 and 2.
Another one, too.
The family have given him 4 years of bobsledding before he has to go and run the family electrical business. So he's got to make the most of this.
Met his father this morning.
Nice high line. He was a little high in the first heat, actually hit the woodwork. 105.1, very good speed, fastest we've seen so far.
He's hitting everything in
Ooh,
sight.
no, Holcomb was quicker.
Yeah, but still, he's got enough time in the bank here. This will be the leader, but boy, he's hit everything in sight.
Well, it's not going to get him a medal, perhaps. A really good debut in the World Cup. Such a charming young guy. 143.3, the gap will come down another 10th to the line. Quarter of a second, that's his first heat advantage. 106.23. Holcomb slid 106.22 in that run.
He beat Holcomb by 15 hundredths a heat at the start. That's 30 hundredths, that's 90 hundredths is the variance that we use. Holcomb outdrove him, but to start, hey, but Holcomb had a great day.
Well, these two guys, so much fun to chat to, but look at that. Snake 1 to Snake 2, he got bit.
Yeah, this is not how to do that at the top of the track where you're trying to let the sled accelerate. Then down here too, and Nameless, watch this big tap. And again, you aren't hitting a wall, you're hitting ice, so your sled digs in there a little bit.
Well, he has got so much potential, this kid. Electrifying speed. And what about Ugas Zalims? Latvia 3. He's been off the World Cup all season. His first race here with Inters Dambis. And boy, they're 4th place after the first heat. 18 start draw didn't hinder him.
Look at the size that he's got. This is the Latvian number 3 sled. So the Latvians have got 3 sleds in the top 10.
They got 2 in the top 4.
They won the men's skeleton yesterday. This is a sliding mad nation with unbelievable athletes. 5:04. Wow. This just amazes me. A nation of 3.5 million people can parade their best athletes in the country are in this sport. Mostly the athletes, some basketball players, some volleyball players, but they're all big and they all run like deer.
Now, he was a 10th in front of Johannes Lochner after the first heat. He was 36 hundredths in front of Stephen Holcomb, who lies in 2nd at the moment. 100th is the advantage over Lochner. All his first round advantage is gone.
Oh, he's flying.
Oh, look at that, 105.9, fastest we've seen. Track record on the cards.
Wow.
Quicker than Holcomb at this stage.
This is the Latvian number 3 sled.
Yeah. Well, no wonder they haven't let him out in public. He's mauling the opposition. We could have 2 Latvian sleds on the podium here.
Wow.
3,700 top speed is great. Track record here.
Time right here. There
That's a big, big run.
Great starts. They all understand the equipment.
That is half a second quicker than anybody went in the first heat.
Tells you what's to come, the next 3 sleds.
Yeah, baby, no kidding.
Nice job, 4th place, minimum. Look at these lines. The crossover needs to be perfect, and he is. Look at that, 105.9, the best speed we've seen so far.
Big heights on the entry, the telephone. Could have been better even, but here's your race leader. 3 to go here in St. Moritz. Francesco Friedrich, the world champion on this track 2 years ago. He's the defending 2-man world champion. Torsten Margis behind him. Gold and silver in the 2 North American races, has been off the podium in 2-man since.
499 first run, 501, not as good. 50.3 should be their start speed, 50.4. This is the 2013 world champion on this track. And when he did that, he was the youngest person ever to win a world championship in the history of the sport. But boy, did he just put himself behind the 8 ball with those mistakes at a curve 1 to 2.
He was 1,400 up on Zalems after the first heat.
Down to 10.
He is slower than Latvia 3.
Big mistake, another mistake. Has not had a good 4 or 5 weeks since
He
the late
needs
class.
a good run here for his confidence. Late off telephone, 1:04.9 behind the Latvians by 8 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, he made all those mistakes up top, and he's paying for it now.
Germany's last chance of a medal is going backwards here. We're going to have 2 Latvians vying for victory, not just 1.
Wow, watch this celebration in the winner's box.
No.
First medals ever for that guy. Watch this. Congratulations to their first medals. Wow.
They look a little underwhelmed by that, but they've still got 2 to come. They're not wanting a bronze. Wow. Francesco Friedrich looked in the first heat like he'd found his confidence, and it's just not been enough for him here.
Out of curve 1. Ready, Spies. Look, watch these. Look at his runners. Look at him trying to steer away. Look at the. You can't do that up there. Boy, this is the guy that won the world championships on this track 2 years ago, and he makes a rookie mistake. Then down here, watch the sled flop.
Yeah, hangs it off telephone.
Mistake after mistake. Francisco Friedrich isn't the consistent driver we saw a couple years ago.
Needs to find his rhythm again. He's very fast, but not quite consistent enough. What about Beat Hefty? Hefty, the World Cup points leader, off 2 straight wins in Altenburg and Koenigsegg, the Swiss champion on this track. There's your leaders, Uge Zalems and Intars Dambis. Zalems, big thumbs up from him. Can he take this man's scalp?
Listen for the crowd. Mistake in the first run. He ran too far. See if he gets through first curve here. Perfect. That's what you expected. Now 499, best start of the competition. 50.5 speed, best start speed. And now, if he keeps this thing sitting a sled pointed down the middle, he's going to put a lot of pressure on Melbartis, who's yet to come. High on the snake, but he's got 3/10.
Well, he had 1,400s over Uge Zalems from the first heat. He's doubled that.
He didn't have a very good first run.
There we go. That's better. Here comes Hefty.
He doesn't have it.
106. That's a sensational speed. Track record potential here, and he'll need it to win this race. Flops a little there.
Wow, that Latvian is still holding in there, but speed at the bottom.
This is not about Zalems. This is about the other Latvian. Melbartis, big slide.
14.
Hits the wall as well.
Right to the 100th.
How close is this going to be? Will he beat him?
Hey,
Zalems will get at least a silver medal.
Mistakes by the Hefty on his home track. Swiss commentator Christian Reich next to me says, sometimes Biat has too many nerves. Well, he was nervous on that run. But he's still tied for at least the silver medal. But Biat, the silver medal, is also the first loser. Here's the high part of Snake. This, you just can't absorb that much ice up there where you're trying to let the sled go. Here's where he lost 1,400 lead.
Look at the skid.
Skid there. That's out of Gunnar Sachs into the Martineau corner, fastest part of the track. And that's where he
Skids
lost it.
and hits, and that cost him the lead. One to go.
Mr. High.
Top three sleds in the first heat were covered by 0.05 of a second over more than a mile of ice. That's drag racing close. Oscars Melbardis and Daumans Dreskins. Melbardis, silver, gold, silver, and then fifth last week when he ran into snow in Koenigsee. Start record, 4:97. Can they get that fast here?
5 flat in the first run, 4:99.
Same as Hefty.
50.4, not as good as start speed. Both of these guys said they did not like the start track because it's shorter, they can't run. They're both 240-pound average. They run like deer. But boy, did he drive good in the first run. And Melbardis going to have to drive perfect in this run to win the gold. 3/10, but you know, Hefty had 3/10 up there above Horseshoe and couldn't hold it.
Hefty had 106 on the exit of Horseshoe. Nice line. Good off telephone, 106.
But remember, Hefty made mistakes down here, threw all that lead away.
2,700's up. This is cleaner than Baird Hefty. The lead remains the same, unchanged. Hefty 142. This is Melbardis heading for victory. 143 in the first heat, 143.8. He's going to win this going away from Baird Hefty. And his teammate Ugi Salims will be second equal. 105.90. Good run from Oscars Melbardis and Daumans Dreskins. They are back in winner's circle. They take their second two-man win of the year. Victory in St. Moritz. Ugi Salims of Latvia and Baird Hefty tied for the silver medal. Francesco Friedrichs, the world champion 2 years ago on this track, in fourth place ahead of young Johannes Lochner and Stephen Holcomb in sixth. Well, a smile is back on the face of Oscars Melbardis. Baird Hefty and Alex Baumann there offering their congratulations. Well, they improved their start by 100th of a second, 4:99 to match Baird Hefty away from the blocks. They had a 400th of a second advantage from the first heat, and Hefty's mistakes consign him to joint silver medal position. It was almost as clean a drive as we've seen down this track from Oscars Melbardis of Latvia. Not quite the track record that is held by Ugi Salims, who moved up from 1900s adrift in fourth place to tie Hefty for the silver medal. Great run from Salims, great run from Hefty, and a standout performance again from Oscars Melbardis, winning here his second gold medal of the season. And there is the remainder of the top 20 finishers. Good days for some, not such for others. Well, we knew we were in for a really close race. 500s covering the top three after the first heat. Top six, 3/10 apart. And lots of close matches all the way down to top 20. And as ever, classic racing on the classic racetrack. St. Moritz never fails to produce the goods. Another stunning day in the Engadine Valley. Lots of fans here. Many very familiar with the racing. Lots of holiday makers here, watching it for the first time. The little goggles that you saw that chap looking through, they have a picture of the venue in the summer. Many of the corners have those, so you can see, compare what it looks like today to what it looks like as a path down through the woods in the middle of a Swiss alpine summer. Well, the ski piste will be very busy indeed today. Just perfect conditions on the rolling pistes above the tree line here in St. Moritz, over 2,000 meters. It really is a winter wonderland. Comparing notes over the finishers. Great day for Latvia, first and joint second. The third Latvian sled. Oskars Kīpemanis will be disappointed, only 11th place. Wondering what on earth happened, how Ugas Zalims managed to find the speed that he did. Zalim's first World Cup race of the season. And he's in joint silver medal position here in St. Moritz. Flags of all nations there, in alphabetical order, neatly arranged. A little bit of OCD going on somewhere, but very entertaining all the same. The beautiful Swiss Alps. We're in St. Moritz, and after 5 of our World Cup races, Oskars Melbardis retakes the lead of the overall standings by just 2 points from Beat Hefti, who finished in the silver medal position here behind Melbardis. And a tie for silver with Ugas Zalims in his first World Cup race. World champion Francesco Friedrich lies third ahead of Nico Walter. And there are the other standings. Not a great day for Great Britain's Latvian Dean. 18th place for him after failing to make the cut in the first heat. 28 sleds in the run. Only 20 go down in the second heat ever. Very busy up there above the start area by the Dracula Start House. And being on top of the world, time to present some bubbles to our top 3. Latvian flags waving and a lot of Latvian presence on the podium. Joint silver medals for Alex Baumann on the right, Beat Hefti on the left of your picture from Switzerland. On the left, Intars Dambis and Ugas Zalims, and in the centre, Oskars Melbardis and Daumans Dreskins. And they receive their Mum Cordon Rouge #1. What a drive he had to put in. He knew the pressure was on, but when isn't it? This is the elite level of the sport. You don't win by being pretty decent, you win by being pretty outstanding. And Melbardis was fastest in the first heat by a whisker, but he opened it up to almost a breath and a half by the bottom, going away to win by 17 hundredths of a second here in St. Moritz. Well, we don't race on his home track in Sigulda, so this is going to be a big win before we get to the World Championships. Melbardis back in control of the 2-man World Cup. He's our 4-man World Cup leader as well, and that race will come up tomorrow, the blue ribboned event, the King Sport here in St. Moritz. Well, lots of Latvians in the crowd and on the podium. Let's hear from them now. Let's get down and join John Morgan.
Okay. Team Hefti, silver medal, still in the World Cup lead, but still you're happy with your drive in the second run?
I have little mistakes in before the horseshoe and after sacks, but the Latvians were really strong today, so we are happy we are second.
Not bad. Second place now. Wow, team's almost, wow. Are you surprised for this result, your first medal ever?
Little bit. This is first podium for us, and it's only beginning.
Congratulations, you surprised us. Great. Well, Oskars, pretty good drive in the second run, huh?
Yeah, it's great, and I'm today very happy about my team guys. They're doing a great job, and we are in first 2 places in 2 minutes for Latvia. It's great, and I'm happy.
Daumans, you don't like the start up there, but you did pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a difficult start here in St. Moritz for us so far, but today we had 2 good ones, and we are very happy for our performance here.
We're all very impressed with all your performances. Congratulations.
Congratulations indeed. We had new medalists yesterday in the skeleton, new medalists today in the men's bobsleigh. Ugas Zalims and Intars Dambis. Zalims getting his first ever World Cup medal. Joint silver medal with Beat Hefti behind Oskars Melbardis. And they will all go again in the 4-man race Sunday. We have women's bobsleigh coming up as well here from St. Moritz. For the meanwhile, thanks to John Morgan, thanks to the crew, and thanks to you for joining us. From St. Moritz, Martin Haven saying auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye for now.